What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again answering the questions that you asked me. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com, get a consultation, a quick question. I also do profile reviews, and I have archived live streams just in case you missed them. So go to the ChazzEllisProject.com and get access to those. Also go to AskChazzEllis on Facebook and make sure you like that too. Anyway, the question that I got was from a young lady that said, what do you do to reestablish communication with somebody after you've hurt them? Which is a good question because a lot of times, we're not always the quote-unquote victim of a situation. Sometimes, we're at fault for the situation, or we're the person who did something to hurt somebody else. So here are some of the ways, and I basically came up with 6 steps to reconnect with somebody after you've hurt them. Number 1, think about what you did and why you did it. I know that sounds really simple, but a lot of times, before we reestablish communication with people, we don't think about that. Sometimes we just start saying, oh, well, I guess I'm going to do whatever I got to do to connect with that person, but I'm not really sorry. I'm not really feeling bad about what I did. I'm not taking responsibility for what I did. I'm making it all their fault or the fault of the environment around me and all that kind of stuff. I'm not really thinking of why I did what I did, because it may be a situation where I don't even feel like I really did anything wrong, but I'm willing to apologize to get back with this person, so I'm going to resent the apology. You have to honestly sit there and think about what you did, why you did it, and decide if it's worth making the effort to reconnect with that person, and if you have anything to say you're sorry for. Because if you don't feel like you do, it's not going to last. It's not going to be something that you're sincere about, and that's going to show through. So make sure you take that time to think about those things. Step 2, give a real apology with no excuses and no expectations. Well, that's why I said you need to think about what you did, and you need to think about why you did it, and take personal responsibility. This allows you to be able to give a real, sincere apology. Be able to say, here's what I did. It also anticipates some of the questions that they might ask. Like, oh, well, what are you sorry for? Oh, well, why did you do what you did? You've already thought about those things. Now you can say something. You can respond and be like, oh, I did it for this reason. I did it for that reason. This is what was going on in my life. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It gives you a good opportunity to do that. Now, I also said, when I said with no excuses, don't try to throw it back on that person and try to blame them in some kind of way. Because the reality is, when you do that, people don't really accept your apology. Now, they may pretend to accept your apology when they don't have any options. They may be broke and not be able to find anybody else right then. They may be down at rock bottom for whatever reason, physically, mentally, emotionally, and then they might seem to accept your apology. They might seem to take you as being sincere. But as soon as that clears up, you're probably not going to hear from them anymore, or they're probably going to start getting distant because they never believed your original apology in the first place. So make sure that you're ready and you don't have any excuses. Then, no expectations. When you give an apology and you have expectations, this leaves you to become upset when you don't get immediate results. So you say, hey, I'm sorry I cheated on you. Hey, I'm sorry I abandoned you when you really needed me. Hey, I'm sorry about things that I did to you after our breakup. I slashed your tires, I busted the windows out of your car. Whatever you might have done. It may not have been that bad, but you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry for whatever I did. And you're expecting right after they do that for them to play that little music, like, love lift us up where we belong. And them jump in your arms like, oh, and you swing them around. And that doesn't happen. They might, you might be talking to them on the phone and they might be dead silence after you say you're sorry. Or you might be in person with them and they might be like, okay, and then walk off. No expectations. You just have to give the apology because you really think you're supposed to, and expect nothing in return, because nothing may come or it may be slow to come. Step 3 is give them a chance to process and possibly vent. This is why you're doing it with no expectations, because you may not get that moment of jubilance and hugging and kissing and, oh, I love you so much. You may not get that right away. You may get them coming back and saying a bunch of crap to you. So you have to give them that opportunity to vent without you getting upset, without you having an expectation of things are going to be great. Give them the opportunity to vent, and also give them an opportunity to process your apology. You want to give them about a week after you've done the apology. You don't want to press things right away, because what it does is it makes it seem like your apology is not sincere and that you just want to rekindle and get things going. And if you don't, you're going to go back to whatever crap you did before. So you want to give them a chance to really think about the apology, decide whether or not they accept it. Also, you want to give them that opportunity to vent, tell you what they're thinking, how they feel about whatever it is you did, and if it's something that they can even get over. You need that information so you can be able to move on. Also, so you can be able to really decide if you have reconciled things with them, or if this is temporary, or just completely fake. Step 4, reestablish consistent communication. Okay, what you want to do is, after they seem to be cool with everything, whether they call you first or text you first or email you first or you do them, you basically want to start talking to them again, just in a slow, easy way. Hey, how you doing? What you got planned? How's things going with your parents or your friends? Whatever, just normal questions. No real expectations of the situation quite yet. Just rekindling a relationship as best as you can. It doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship, but it can be more of a friendship, or more of just rekindling that bond or strengthening that bond again. Nothing serious, but just talking and reestablishing consistent communication. Not where it's like, I talked to you on Monday, then I talk to you a year later. Like, it's consistent where you're talking all the time, getting it back up to or close to the level it was before everything kind of fell apart. Okay. Step number 5, start making things right. This is one of the biggest problems people have with reestablishing with somebody after they've hurt them, is making things right. People think, if I apologize, everything's supposed to be forgiven, it's all over, and if you don't forgive me, you don't let it be over, then screw you. Well, that's not how an apology works. If I say this all the time, if somebody was really sorry, they would be doing everything to make it right that they did to make it wrong. Basically, they would be doing everything in reverse. If that person really cared and was really sorry, they would be trying to make amends for what they did. So if you slash that person's tires, you need to be figuring out how you can buy them some new doggone tires. Otherwise, that person's sitting there looking at you like, yeah, you said you were sorry, but I don't really believe that. Also, say you cheated on that person. That means that when you did that, you probably broke some trust. You probably weren't there for them sometimes when they needed you. You probably, ignored them in some kind of way. So this means that you're going to have to do those things, that you're going to have to put the effort in to undo that feeling. If you abandon somebody when they really need you or something like that, you're going to have to show that person that you will be there for them and reestablish that trust. You're going to have to make that effort. Otherwise, the person really can't believe your apology, and you really aren't reestablishing anything. You really aren't building anything. Yeah, if they don't have any other options at the time, they might entertain the idea, but the forgiveness is never really there, and the residual damage is going to still be there. That means that even if y'all are cool and y'all get together and you're together for 10 years, the fact that you never went back and corrected whatever it is that you did in the first place means that anger and that resentment will always be there. It's like a crack in the foundation or a block missing from the foundation of a house. You know for a fact that at some point that's going to cause the whole structure to crumble. So you have to have that connected. You have to have gone and patched that up, fixed it, and rebuilt on top of that. Okay, the apology is basically like saying, here, I'm sorry, so let's kind of start wiping this away. But until you start making amends, you're not rebuilding anything. Okay, you're not fixing anything. So that's what you want to take that time to do. And when you've done it for what you consider is a reasonable amount of time, and I would say however long it was that you were messing things up, that's the reasonable amount of time that it might take for you to get things back together. I mean, when you were at the height of messing things up, like however long you were slashing tires, messing up bank accounts, cheating, lying, stealing, whatever the heck it is you were doing. No judgment from me. Whatever it is you were doing, you're going to have to take at least that amount of time, or, well, really at most, that amount of time to fix it. And when you feel, and if you did it in a shorter period of time, However long it takes you to fix and start undoing the things that you did, until you get there, you can't take the last step. And the last step is give them the option to start over and move on. Once you feel that you've done all you could do, there's nothing else left. So now you give them the option. Do you want to move on, or do you want to start over? Because I've done all I can do at this point. So now we need to start from scratch as best as we possibly can and see if we can have a good relationship. If not, there's nothing else I can do. So I'm at peace with it. Because you're not just doing this for them, you're doing it for you also. Like I always say, unfinished business is the leading cause of obsession. And if you don't feel like you did all you can, a lot of times you find yourself not being able to get over a situation. So when you do this, you do all you can, it's a lot easier to get over it. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also, go to the ChazzEllisProject.com, get a consultation, a quick question, or check out some of the archives that I have for live streams that I've done. Also, you can get a profile review for any of your social media. So check that out. It's your man, Chaz Ellis. Peace.